Good day. Today I'm going to be reviewing a copy of Stardew Valley. This is a spiritual successor to the old Harvest Moon games, made by Concerned Ape and co-published by Chucklefish Gaming. Um, Basically, as a spiritual successor to the Harvest Moon games, like them, it is a farming simulator. As a farming simulator, it has, of course, farming. Um, Though you may think it's a little bit different than what um, you may expect from the normal one. Basically, as a farming simulator, you get to do certain different tasks, all of them which are based around certain skills that you build up throughout the game, and all of them make you money. You get three different resources that you use in this game, kind of ironically. One of them is time itself. Towards the later part of the later parts of the games, once you get everything worked and down, you don't really need to worry about energy or money. It's just time that you have to worry about. But in the beginning, it's basically money and energy that hold you back from doing many of the parts of the game that later parts you can do pretty easily. Um, but basically, there's several different skills you can do. One of them being farming. The other ones would be fishing, mining, foraging, combat, and wait, yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat. Each of them has level 0 to 10. These big things right here, these would be level 5 and 10. These indicate that you get to assign yourself a perk point when you reach these levels in game. So these little points that you get for just doing the game can really help. Some of them mean you sell stuff for more money. Some mean it's easier for you to catch fish. It's easier for you to do certain things, and some of them are just really helpful, like crops growing faster. But not all. They aren't necessary. But over the progression of a normal game, you probably will upgrade all of these skills. So maybe not all of them to 10, but pretty much most of the time all the way up to 5 at least for all of them. So with these different skills, you have different ways of playing the game. Like for farming, it'd be just getting up and managing your crops, while with fishing, it'd be going to different locations at different times and managing your time that way and your energy. For mining, it'd be just going to the places where you can mine in the mines, the quarry, and the Skull Caverns, which is a late game thing. So that's how you do mining. Combat is the weird one. Basically, you can only find enemies in certain places unless you have the wilderness farm. There's a different farm that's leveled or suited for each of these different tasks. Like, for example, right now I am on the Riverland farm, which is suited best for fishing. There is the standard farm, which is best for farming, hilltop for mining, wilderness for combat, and forest for foraging. So, for each farm lends itself to a different playstyle, though all of them can be used for all other types of playstyles. Alongside these skills, there are relationships that you can build out throughout the game. These relationships can be pretty simple to pretty complex depending on the character, but each character has different likes and dislikes that you can give them gifts for. The way you get heart points, or just hearts, are a simple way of monitoring how good your relationship is with them and the community as a whole. But there's actually some numbers behind the hearts too, so it isn't just you do a nice thing, you get one heart. It's like you do exponential amount of nice things and you get a heart and stuff like that. But there are marryable NPCs and non-marryable NPCs. There's over 30 different NPCs. They all have birthdays. They have likes and dislikes, and these really like help it help the whole game feel as its own separate entity as a town, as compared to just a collection of random characters. Um, Throughout the game, you're going to meet different people and um, be introduced to different sides of the whole game. For example, in the start, like in the first few days, like I am now, you might walking to Pelican Town, which is a town that is within Stardew Valley. This is the main town that you can go to, and the only town. Okay, I was just talking about this right here. You get to meet. You already know Mayor Lewis. He was one of the people that welcomed you to the town, but he takes you to the little community center up here. I just skipped the cutscene because I want to save that for you. But with that cutscene, you're introduced to some things you can do to help improve the town. These would be through bundles. Bundles are like a collection of certain different things. Once you can actually read that, you don't have to make a decoder yourself. Uh, you'll actually later, like a few days in end game, uh, you'll be able to have that read like regular English to you. But the whole game is text based, so there isn't like any voice acting and stuff. I guess I should get that out of the way real quick. But you get introduced to the idea of doing bundles. Bundles can be completed by doing different collection tasks, making sure you have different items, and just hunting for items as a whole. Uh, as a counter to that, you can join Joja, which is basically at the beginning of the game, you work for Joja and you leave that life because you're just tired of dealing with work and sitting at a computer all day. So you get to decide whether you want to do community bundles, which is gathering a certain amount of resources and stuff to get upgrades to the town, or if you want to just straight up pay in gold for what upgrades you want. Which at the end, I'm not going to really spoil it that much, but the end for the Joja side is kind of underwhelming. I personally haven't done that because I already knew the ending. But basically, you get to do either the bundles or dealing with the Joja. And throughout the course of the game, they both unlock the same things. So in the end, it doesn't really matter too much. It just matters what that building is, and sometimes like the standing with the community is also helped that way. But as a whole, most people in their first playthroughs will side and just do the bundle side of things. Uh, there's several different people that you can meet throughout the town. Many of them have different gifts that you can give, and they have different reactions and stuff that they say to you depending on how close you are to them through the heart system. Uh, well, I just gave you a basic progression and glance of the story. Some reasons I think that anyone should play this game is it's a game that is really well supported. It has a strong community behind it, and it's still growing. As example, the game within the next few months is going to be having a multiplayer update, which is something several people have been trying to mod into the actual game itself, and this will help bring in more people. Like with the new Switch game that came out in October, that there's already a high install rate in that. There's a pretty decent install rate on PC, PS4, and Xbox One too. So the game is really well supported on many different systems, and just its charm it has. As a whole, the game has this old, like, retro pixel-based, high pixel. No, I forget the exact coined term for it, but basically, as a game, it has this really cool style that's old, like pixelated, but it doesn't really like subtract. It just adds to the charm of the game as a whole. The game also is really nice price. It's usually just around $15 compared to a normal game, which is at this moment in time is just around $60. And you're probably going to a normal AAA game that costs around $60. You probably would get 20 to 40 hours out of it. With this game, I have personally got over 250 hours out of it easily, and probably many more to come, and that's just within the last 8 months or so. So, another part of this game is it's also kind of, it's like uh, partially addicting, but it's based on days. So, sleeping in your bed is a checkpoint. That saves your progress, so you kind of feel like I'll just do one more day, one more day, one more day. So that is a part that I don't exactly think is good for the game, but it does. It has to be mentioned. It is a really fun game, though you might spend a little bit more time than you might want to playing it. Also, just by how much time you spend in it, this just shows how you're getting your money's worth. Like, on sale, it can be like $10 or $7 or so. But even at its full price of $15 or so, it's still it's like the cost of like 2 movie tickets, uh, and 2 movies. That's like 4 to 6 hours depending on the movie. This you can probably get easily like 40 to hundreds of hours, just if you do the base game and not actually do any of the branching paths that you can go about. So it's really good that way. Uh, Out of most people that I know, I'd probably suggest it to probably about 9 out of 10 people. It's just a game that I think that almost anyone, no matter their upbringing, can probably enjoy. Though if your parents or something really like gardening and you are playing this, uh, it may be a little bit ironic and they poke fun of you about it. I've seen several memes about that, but for basically everyone, I think that it's a good like game for you to buy. You're gonna get your money's worth out of it, I'm pretty sure. And I think that as a whole, the game being itself a little passion project of just one person, it's amazing what one person can do, and with the community working on it, I'm looking forward to the future of the game, and I thank you for watching this review, and I hope that you have a nice day, and thank you.